Hello. Today, I'm choosing to talk about the MLB and the Los Angeles Dodgers. MLB history. They are located at 1271 Avenue of Americas in New York, New York. They were founded February 2nd, 1876, right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio. They've had the same name for over 150 years. Originally, they were two separate leagues, the National League and the American League. In 2000, the two leagues came together to use the same money and the same sponsors. Governing of the MLB. It is governed by the Commissioner of Baseball. The current commissioner is Robert D. Manfred Jr. There is no board of directors. There is not much power being distributed due to them not having a board of directors. Most of the power goes through the current commissioner, Robert D. Manfred Jr. A couple rules and policies they have is an anti-gambling policy. No person who is part of the MLB can take place in any baseball betting, college, professional, overseas, wherever it is. They cannot bet on that. They also have a joint drug prevention policy. This is a policy where a drug treatment program and random drug testing. So this means if a player is having a drug problem of some sort, they have a program for them to go into and get clean and make sure they're clean whenever they come back. And then the random drug testing, if they think a player is juicing or using performance enhancing drugs or anything like that, they can randomly test them. Also, players cannot post anything on social media that looks like communication with the MLB. The MLB doesn't want the normal people or the people non-part of the MLB to know what is going on until it happens. Main sponsors of the MLB and TV deals. Their main sponsors include Anheuser-Busch, Nike, Coca-Cola, Capital One, and T-Mobile. Multiple of these sponsors have been with them for many, many years, and I assume they will keep with them for another many, many years. The MLB also has three media rights deals. The first being with ESPN with a $550 million deal. Another being with NBC worth about a little less than half of what ESPN is with 200 million, and the last being with Netflix only worth 50 million. Now, let's talk about the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers are one of the oldest teams in the MLB. They were founded in 1883. They originated in Brooklyn by Charles Byrne and Ferdinand Abel. They played their first games at Washington Park. Their original name was the Trolley Dodgers. This is due to many trolleys going around Brooklyn at the time. And then in 1932, their name stuck with just the Dodgers, taking away the trolley. In 1958, they relocated to Los Angeles. Their move was due to their owner, Walter O'Malley, wanting a change of stadium and to modernize the franchise. Staying in Brooklyn just wasn't a good way to get a bigger stadium, a new stadium, or to make their franchise any differently. Their current owners and governing body of the Dodgers. They're currently owned by the Guggenheim Baseball Management. The current owner of GBM is Mark Walter. They are governed by their owners, presidents, and GM whenever they have those. Their current owning company have many different people at the top making decisions. So it could be the president of that company, it could be the general manager of that company, it could be just a bunch of different people in that company make the decisions, not just the owner of that company, but we don't know exactly what that company looks like. The Dodgers are not a publicly traded company. This means you can't go into a stock room or go buy stocks of the Dodgers and pay money towards the Dodgers. If they were like, per se, the Green Bay Packers of the NFL, where they have no owner, they are owned by the people, then you can publicly trade and send money to that team so your team can hopefully get better. You cannot do that with the Dodgers. Um, Different policies. So first is players and coaches and any team personnel cannot be in the stands during games in Dodger Stadium unless injured. This is to just to keep the professional boundaries between players and fans. Secondly, all players, coaches, and fans must abide by safety and security protocols. This means no foul language, foul or abusive language, or rude gestures while on the property toward any players, coaches, fans, anyone during the game, after the game, before the game. Lastly, if you are in the clubhouse, you must emphasize recovery, inclusion, and professionalism. This being in place because their clubhouse was recently renovated. Now, sponsorships. I might mess a couple of these up. You have Uniqlo, which is a field naming right sponsor and an in stadium and is a sponsor on any in stadium apparel that you buy. Um, Toei Animation, Sun Brewery, and Tokyo Electron are all Japanese sponsors who came as sponsors after Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto arrived with the Dodgers. San Manuel Casino, Bank of America, Coca-Cola, and Budweiser are all longtime partners and have big stadium presence and long-standing relationships with the Dodgers. Why I chose the Dodgers. They have been competitive since their inception in 1883. They've been competitive for year on end, getting blue chip talent from left and right. They were able to bring the first colored baseball player to the MLB in Jackie Robinson. Their GM at the time, Branch Rickey, is who brought Jackie Robinson from the Negro Leagues to the MLB. Due to their big spending, they have a 100% luxury, 110% luxury tax against them every time they sign a new player. This is making them harder for blue chip talent, but they still seem to be getting it. It's because the players that want to come to them want to win, and they have the teams to win. Different areas around the Dodgers. To put in their current stadium, Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, they had to place eminent domain in, kicking out and clearing in a predominantly Mexican American area to build their stadium. They also have had to deal with the Trevor Bauer scandal. Um, Trevor Bauer was a former pitcher for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He was accused of sexual assault on three different women. The Dodgers had to place him on administrative leave, and he eventually got suspended by the MLB, which then they ended up voiding his contract. After a couple years, they found out that each one of those women were guilty of fraud. But Trevor Bauer still hasn't found his shot back in the MLB. Some people still believe he is blackballed. He's currently moving around in Mexican League, Japanese League. He's currently with the Long Island Ducks in Long Island, New York, playing minor league baseball. I truly hope he gets his shot back in the MLB. I'm a huge Trevor Bauer fan. I think he is a great player. They also haven't missed the playoffs in 14 years ago. This was in 2012. This is just showing how years on end they are a good team. And then their last losing season was 20 years prior in 1992, which is nearly 4 decades ago.